Tia's Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know, like two tortas with some bad habits. Now, before we get into the content of the day, man, I'd like you to hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed. Make sure my brusha's all right. And to all the dope content that I'm bringing all week long, man, I highly appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the support that I'm getting. Now, you guys see the thumbnail and you ask yourself, well, who is that lady right there? You know, a lot of people, I did a story the other day, and a lot of people were asking me to do a more in-depth profile, basically story on my tia. You know, how real she was, how gangster she was. You know, a lot of people are interested in them type of individuals. And, you know, one thing I can say for sure is this will not be a laughing matter. So if you're here for the entertainment value as far as the comedy and all that, you're not going to get much of that, man. This video right here means a lot to me. Let's put it like that. You know, I still haven't mourned the passing of my tia, Lupe. She was, when it comes to females, probably the realest, most gangsterest, downest, having handsest woman that I ever met in my life. And I respect her for everything she did and for everything she showed me. You know, because no matter how hardcore and what she was into, her own personal life and her things, she always had time for familia. You know, we all have those tios or those tias in the hood, man, that are willing to take the shirt off their back and give anything for their familia or for their friends. And that's what she was, man. Her relationship spanned decades as far as having homeboys and homegirls. You know, they never left her side. They never fell back on her. None of that because of how real she was. And she was a straight up gangster as far as giving it to you pura. She never fucking half-stepped or hesitated to say what was on her mind. And she wasn't the one to fuck with. She was very well respected, did have a lot of interaction with Norteños, Southsiders, cartel, everything. You know, she did it all, man, from the beginning to the end. And that's a fact, you know, and I'll forever be indebted with a lot of games she gave me, a lot of things she taught me, you know, street versions of things. You know, you learn a lot from your parents. You can learn a lot from, you know, someone who's trying to teach you the right way. But when someone only knows one thing and they know how to get it, how to hustle, you know, how to be about that, you know, I can only give them respect because in this life that we live, in this world that we're living in, you need a little bit of everything. You need street smarts. You know, you could be intelligent behind those books, you know, but she gave me the knowledge that you couldn't get in college. She didn't half step or sugarcoat or add preservatives. It was just take it or leave it or get the fuck out of here. Straight up in those exact words. So, you know, I wanted to say in loving memory, rest in peace to my tia Lupe, also known as Mad. You know, they called her Mad. You know, her nickname was, or her middle name was Madeline. So her nickname was Mad or China. She definitely was real. In and out of Chowchilla Prison, Valley State Prison for women. Did her time like a soldier. And we're going to get to all that. And I'm going to tell you how real she was. So, you know, as a young kid growing up, my father was in and out of my life. And this is my father's sister. You know, my father was in and out of my life because he was incarcerated all the time. You know, he wasn't going to work, homie. He wasn't going to go to a 9-to-5. He wasn't going to pump gas. He wasn't going to fucking go to fucking Burger King and so you can have it your way. He wasn't doing any of them things. He was going to kick your door down and take everything you had. You know, is that a father to be proud of? I guess not. But at the same time, I'll always love him for what he did put on the plate. You know, no matter how you get it, how you're raised, or what you do to go get it, man, the fact is he went and got it. Respects. Now, you know, towards the end of, you know, he's also passed away, rest in peace to him. But towards the end of his career or his life, we didn't see eye to eye. We never really got the chance to make amends because I was feeling some type of way. He was feeling some type of way. And that's just the way it is. And sometimes you wish you could have those moments back. You wish you could have that time back with the person, you know, to really let them know what's on your mind, whether it's good or bad. But time moves fast, man. Time moves smooth with a purpose. And you know, you can only reflect back as you get older into relationships and things you should have said or shouldn't have said. And that's just what it is. When it comes to my tia, we left in a good place. We left in a very good place. Forever love in the heart. There was never any turmoil between us. There was never any bad blood. It was always love because the things that she showed me, I applied. The things that she taught me, she knew she could rely on me because I had her back as much as she had mine. So anyways, we all had that tia or that tío or that, you know, that hood friend that definitely is there. You know, there was plenty of times I got out of jail, got out of prison, had absolutely not a penny to my pocket, $200 gate money, and the bus ticket they gave me. I had nowhere to go, man. My tia never hesitated. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story, how real she was. You know, when I was younger and just getting my shit together, 18, 19 years old, I had a baby mama. She was pregnant, I had my own little pad, my first little pad. Thought I was doing big things up out of YA. I was on the block, you know, and I was working. But I was just trying to live my life. I was trying to do the family thing. Hey, don't be mad at me. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to do at that point in time. Now, of course, she wasn't into the family thing. She was into the fuck as many guys as she can thing. But it's neither here nor there. That's just the way it works out, right? In the hood. So you can't turn a hood rat into a housewife. You can, but she's going to bring roaches. So now, you know, my tia was out there struggling. She had just got out of prison. She had 2 of her sons with her. She has 4 sons, right? She had 2 of them with her. And they were undocumented, you know, being straight from Mexico. You know, none of the family wanted to open their doors to her because of what she was into. She was into the spoon a little bit and always had been since I was a little kid. But pay in mind, man, what your problems are, you know, I don't want them to be my problems, but at the same time, I don't knock you for your problems. I'm not that type of individual. If you're into a certain thing, if you're an alcoholic, a drug addict, you know, if you're my family, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I've never been the one to turn you away at the door because of the things you do. But if you do me dirty or do me wrong, well, then I'm going to have to walk away. I'm going to have to step away, and I'm not going to hold on like in Vogue. That ain't what's going to happen. So anyways, she comes knocking at my door. Now, this had never happened. I had so much respect for her. So much, you know, I looked up to her as a person because, you know, I watched her and my dad knock dudes out together. I watched her put more motherfuckers on their back than my own father did, right? My dad was a big boy, you know, 350-pound big dude. And every time that he had some pleito or something, he called his sister. She came through. She was a head knocker, man. She didn't care if you were a man, a woman. She treated everybody the same. You can get it. Get it in. That's what it is. So she had got out of prison. Nobody wanted to look out for her. I remember she came knocking at my door, and I was trying to get my shit together. I didn't have a big pad, a little 2-bedroom, you know, I'm about to have a baby. Trying to go the right way. I was still functioning, still active in the game, still chilling with the homies from time to time, but I was out of the mix. I was working at Jack in the Box. Facts, right? This is the year 1997. Anyways, my tia's at my door with her 2 kids. I can't turn her away. You know, she never would do me like that. You know, there was plenty of times she could have and she never did. So I let her in. One rule. Don't get high in my pad and don't be inviting no riffraff around. None of your homeboys that's always kicking it with you. Because I don't know these cats, right? Have some respect. You know, that's the way, you know, I would treat people with respect. If I'm living with you or I'm at your pad, you know, I'm going to go by your rules. So, of course, everything's good for a couple weeks. And then I notice she starts to nod out a little bit. She's getting in the mix. And one day I come home from work early. And, of course, she's nodded out in the bathroom. And there's a homeboy right there, you know, zipping up his pants. He was whatever. And I snatched him up. Felt highly disrespected. He had to catch the 1-2 step, right? And then he got thrown out the house. She's arguing, defending him over her own sangre. I felt a certain way, so I threw her out. Okay? It would always come back to haunt me because she had never done that before. But I felt that, you know, she was disrespecting me as well as there was children in the home. And I just didn't like that. So anyways, years pass and I don't see my tia, man. And I heard that, you know, at that point in time, you know, she erased me off her telephone book. That she had nothing, she wanted nothing to do with me. I mean, she was back in prison. So anyway, she gets out and this is how real she is, man. While I'll never forgive myself for that situation, even though I think I was in the right, I don't know, you tell me. I get caught up, right? I get caught up. I'm walking down the street. There's a street called Loughborough in Merced, the north side, man. Back in them days, Vatos were our enemies, right? It was red on red, like in a vicious fashion. So if them fools seen us, they would pull up. Everybody knew who everybody was, what hood you were from, what Vato you were from. So there was no wiggle room, man. You know, if you were known, you were known. So I'm walking. I'm actually living in an apartment in Loughborough in the cuts, right? Every time I went to go throw the trash, my head was on swivel. I had to make sure that these motherfuckers weren't out there, right? I knew it was a matter of time before I got caught up. It was coming, homes. So anyways, I had a lady at that time, me and her in the fucking pad, a different chick. I done moved on from Squonka right now. I'm with Squonka number 2. So now I'm over here, but I'm walking down the street coming from 7-Eleven, which is right on Loughborough, and I'm walking down Denver, the street called Denver. And these Vatos see me. They pull up in the car, and of course they start chasing me. I run up to this fucking apartments so I could get something to my back, right? And then I start chunking them. Well, as I'm chunking them, one of the guys, right, jumps in the car to, I think, get a gun, get whatever he was going to get. I was like, oh, fuck no. So I start knocking on the door like, hey, let me use your phone. This is pre everyone having cell phones, right? Let me use your phone, hey, right? This fool comes out with a little bat and he's swinging on me. Okay, but what happens is in the midst of swinging, he hits his own homeboy. And no, all right, mind you, I'm knocking on the door. His homeboy's still on me, right? I'm like, fuck, hey, right? This other dude, I think he's coming out with the gun. And, you know, it's when motherfuckers coming with the strap, man, what are you going to do? Hey, shoot me. Hey, shoot me. Be about, well, so no, fuck that. I need to get on. I'm going to kick this door and run through the back, jump the fence, and I'm going to be up Owski. Call me runner if you want. I don't give a fuck, man. Everybody at one point in time got on, right? You got to live to fight another day, Craig. So anyways, this Vato hits his own homeboy with the bat. Devastating blow, right? Knocks him. So when he knocks him, I get to stop it. This black chick answers. She's like, get that shit off my porch. I say, bitch, can I use your phone, right? No. So I take off running. And when I take off running, man, I hit a couple fences. There's the Merced Mall's not far away, right? I get to the mall. I run up in there, man. I need to use the phone. Bam. Some white dude's like, here, you can use my phone. I use his phone. And I don't have no one to call. No one that's going to pick me up. I can hear cops everywhere. And I'm thinking maybe this guy's dead, man. And because I was involved, even though I didn't hit him, I'm not going to say what happened, right? I'm thinking, fuck, I'm gone, right? So I'm nervous, like, damn, it's over. My career's over. Just like that, man. My chick, I'm sure she's at the pad wondering, damn, I wonder if he got my donuts, right? Fuck you. So I use the phone and one of my deals comes and swoops me. I call him. I remember his number, right? This is back in the day when you had a little fucking, I had still my little red telephone book from YA, right? Fuck, hey, so I call him and he comes and swoops me up and he's like, hey, you can't go to my pad because you already know the placas are going to go over there immediately. They know what's up. Because my tia, his wife, was my mother's sister. They knew. Cops knew who she was and who I was, right? So I was like, damn. So I was like, you know what? Take me to my tia Madeline's house, Lupe. And I hadn't seen my tia since I gave her the boot years before, right? Since I, you know, it was not a years before, about a year and a half, whatever. So anyways, bam, he takes me to Winton. She was living in Winton at the time. She had a little pad with her sons and she didn't even hesitate, man. I knocked on the door. Tia, I need to stay here, man. They're after me, the black guys, you know what I mean? Come on, mijo, come in. Bam. What happened? Whoop-de-woo-woo. Now, she was always in the mix. She always had her thing going, man. She was heavy into the game, right? She was the black lady. Put it like that. She always had that black. So she would have different dudes in and out of the house, her runners, whatever she had going on, her business, right? She was real heavy hooked up with the cartel, man. That was her thing. And I'm going to tell you a little story about that. Anyway, so I remember she looked out and I remember sitting down and talking to her and apologizing in tears, man, for booting her out and her sons and, you know, when they had nowhere to go. And actually kept her sons, gave them to my abuelita, but kicked her out, right? Because she was in the right frame of mind to have her kids at that time. So anyways, she thanked me. Hey, mijo, I wasn't in the right frame of mind, man. You did right, you know, and I don't blame you. So I said, why didn't you call me? Because your poor ass don't got a phone. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So anyways, my tia, the relationship built from there. Eventually, man, they ended up dropping charges on that case, and everything was good, right? So we were back in where we were talking, and my tia, man, I ended up with another chick, skunker number 3. And so my tia, man, at this time, she was heavy into the game, real deep in the game, man. She would, you know, spend a lot of money to pay all my bills to help me out, man. I was a bum at that time. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was working, but barely making it. You know, she definitely put money in my pocket all the time. She was someone I could rely and count on. Someone that a lot of the family could rely and count on because she was in the game, you know, in the mix. So trip out. I get a homeboy that gets locked up, right? And, you know, the homeboy's locked up. He's trying to do some big things in there. You know, he has a cellie who has an old lady that's willing to bring some shit in, you know, but he don't got the connect. So what, you know, what can you do for me? What have you done for me lately, Janet, right? So he's like, there's a way we can make some feria, whatever, right? So I get in my tia and like a real one, man, the plug is real. The game starts getting real for us for a while, man. I was balling out of control. I bought me a nice little car on rims. I had a new washer and dryer and a cell phone and skunk on number 4. The game was on, right? And then the chick is going into visiting. She ends up getting popped and she tells on my tia, right? Real one shit, man. My tia sat down for 3 years on that case. Didn't say not a damn thing. Wasn't mad at me. Wasn't upset with the homeboy. Wasn't even tripping off his old lady. If she'd have seen her, she'd have beat her down. And it was about this time, man. You know, again, I'm in a bad situation. Damn, I put my tia in the fire, homie. You know? And she's like, don't worry, Mio. It's part of the game. Chalk it up to the game. Use this as a learning experience. So this was the type of game she gave me. She never tripped off of her downfalls or she never tripped off, you know, getting done dirty or bad things happening to her. It was just part of the game. She took it in stride. So anyway, she gets another pad in Winton, a real nice pad. She buys one, buys her son a pad. I mean, balling shit, out of control. And I remember I'm there one day, and I'm with my primos, and we're chilling, and she would have this little vato that would pull up in a black Corvette, right? Little short paisa vato, just golded down, looked like Mr. T, jewelry down. And I remember my primo saying, hey, fool, that fool, hey, he comes, he drops off, psh, he got hella feria, right? Skid him, right? And you know, that mentality back in the days was, you know, if you got it, we're going to get that. We're going to need that. You know, everybody was looking for that next lick. Everybody was on their hustle, I guess. I know that's not a righteous way of thinking. Now that I'm older, I think about it like, fuck, eh? You know, you find yourself caught up in a bad situation. You don't know who you're robbing or who you're trying to get. Shit, you know, and this was the wrong one. So anyways, my tia happens to come out from her room to get a drink of water. Now, like I said, she used to stay in her room all the time. The only time she came out was to go to the casino and back. She didn't have to fucking clean her house. She didn't have to do anything. She had runners and people doing that for her. She was balling out of control. All she did was sit down, watch reruns of Three's Company and the Andy Griffith Show, and mijo, take me to the fucking casino or I'll beat your ass. Okay, let's go. That was it. So anyways, she happens to come out for some water, and she sees us plotting and planning. And she was like, what are you guys thinking about? And that little vato had just left, but we knew he came every Thursday, just like the wind blew, right? So she was like, what are you guys thinking about? And I was like, psh, you already know. And she was like, let me tell you something right now. I've been doing business with that guy for 20 plus years. I said, that vato looks young and shit. She goes, I did business with his people, his people's people. And I'm going to tell you right now, them dudes don't fuck around. They'll kill your whole bloodline. That's cartel shit right there. See, there's a difference between your street gang mentality shit that you're doing out there, north and south, and whatever the bullshit that you're into. She goes, but these guys right here will cut every fucking person in this room's head off. And best believe, you know, even mine's. And I've been doing business with them. It's good business, in good standings, in and out of prison, solid, never told, never did none of that. So shut the fuck up and don't do nothing like that. Saved us from meeting Mr. Chainsaw, right? And I'll never forget that, or forgive her, or, you know, never forget that, because we were about to, again, put her in a mix, you know, not thinking correctly. You know, sometimes, you know, your own homeboys, your own family, your own friends can fuck up your relationships with others just based on greed, or they're not thinking about you. That really opened my eyes. So let me tell you a funny story. So I'm in front of my grandma's house, right? And I'm chilling, man, with my primos. Now, my primos are Southsiders, straight up from Winton and Atwater. That's just what it is, man. Her sons, you know, one of them is a homeboy, an active Norteño. The other, two of them are Southsiders, upstaters. And one's claimed Stockton, the other one's from A-Town, and the other son is a baboso. That's my cousin. He knows what's up. I'm gonna call him later on. That was an idiot, right? But anyway, so she got a little bit of everything. So she didn't. When she got locked up, when she did her time, it was north, south, none of that. She didn't play them games. It was love for everybody. You know, she had a lot of homeboys that were Rangers from LA that used to come through. I used to be like, fuck these bottles. That's it. She said that shit. That bottle will kill you, eh? He's from 18. All right. Respects. You know, and that's that. I never questioned her homeboys. They were just in and out. You know, when you're into the black game and all that, there's a lot of veteranos. Brocha's big everywhere. There's fucking mustache hair all over her pad. So, anyways, I'm at my grandma's house and I'm playing with my cousins. We're horse playing, homie. We're, you know, slap boxing and shit. And he's got a lot of his little homeboys from Winton right there, little Winton Vadio Park cats. And they know I'm a Norteño, but at this time, that's my family. So it wasn't really that. But he had a couple homeboys that were lightweight, like, you know, when we're playing, I'm like, I'll fuck all you vatos up. They were younger. I was like 20, 21 at the time. These kids were like 18, 19, not little kids, you know. They were adults, but, you know, young. And so we're just slapboxing, whatever. Anyways, I went to go catch my cousin because that fool caught me, right? Oh, motherfucker, I'm going to get you back. Norte! Right? So when I went to get him, I swung and I fell off the porch. There was some concrete steps, and I knocked my arm out of place, right? Now, my old lady at the time lived right next door to my grandmother, man. Rest in peace. That's my baby's mother that passed a while back. She lived right next door. That's where I met her. That's a whole different story. She wasn't a skonka. So anyways, you know, I got love for her still. That was my first love, eh? So anyways, I fall, bam, my arm's fucked up. Ah! My shit went from black and blue from here to the fingertips. I'm fucked off, right? I remember my tia came and swooped me up to take me to the hospital in Turlock. And the whole time she's yelling at me for fucking up her fucking, because she was at the casino. She had to smash all the way back. I'm sitting there all wanga in the help, every little bump. She gave me a ride, right? She's screaming at me, motherfucker, I was on a winning streak. I was up $26, right? I was like, oh, fuck, right? So we get into the hospital. My tia's like a straight G. She snatched the doctor up. She's like, my nephew needs to go in now, right? The motherfucker was like, we're going to get right in surgery, ma'am. Don't trip, right? With her lokes on, never came out the lokes, just what it was. It didn't matter if it was Christmas time. Hey, I think I seen Santa, eh? You know what I mean? With her lokes on. Just as real as it gets, real hood shit. Never hesitated. So anyways, I had a baby's mother, another one of them. And she had a mother that actually had a history with my tia, man. And I would notice that every time my tia came to my pad, because my tia would come to my pad periodically, just look around, make sure the pad's clean, make sure the chick is doing what she's supposed to do. And she, you know, people were scared of her. She had that presence. She didn't give a fuck. Her face, you know, if you look, you can see she looks India, meaning she looks Native American. We have strong Native American blood in my family. On my dad's side, Yaqui Indian. My grandmother was pure Yaqui Indian from Arizona. So my tia, of course, man, she looks like shit. She looks like she's a Kansas City chief, right? That was real. She always hair long, braided. She looked like she was ready to fucking fuck you off, you know, and some real shit. Real indigenous blood there. So every time she walked in, everyone would get quiet, like, oh, hell no. And this chick's mom was always real quiet. Never wanted that smoke with my tia. So one time I got on my tia, she said, you notice how those bitches be all quiet when I walk in? She's like, I'll fuck everybody off. I said, well, what happened? She said, well, back in the days, you know, that used to be one of my running partners. We used to be into that spoon and doing our thing. And she burnt me, man. She burnt me for some shit. And, you know, I smashed her through a window and all kinds of shit. And things have never been the same. We grew up and we had children and now you're fucking her kid and whatever, right? And, you know, because now I grew up and her daughter is my baby's mom and we're older. And that was it. My tia said, so I'll give you that respect because of Mija, but I don't like that bitch. And it was funny, man, just to see people scattered. Now, my father told me a story. My father didn't tell me many stories. Okay, my relationship with my father was very minimal. You know, when he would come in my life, when I would see him, when he would be out of prison or we'd run into each other in public or whatever, it was kind of, what's up, Mio? I knew he was my dad. He knew I was his son. But he didn't know how to be a father with me. You know, he had other children and with them, it was different shit. But with me, I guess because I was his oldest, I was his first, you know, I was his junior. It was hard to communicate with me. I was already stuck in my ways, having been young, went to YA. I already had that prison mentality in and out of prison. There was nothing he could tell me. He tried to save me, but it was fucking too late. Put it like that. And I remember he told me about my tia one time. He said, hey, one time, mijo, he said, we had to go into Mexico to get your tia. Your tia got kidnapped. You know, she got kidnapped by a rival cartel. She was dealing with one cartel. A rival cartel kidnapped her. He goes, we had to go up in there, hella homeboys, and snatch her up, man. He says, your tia was fucking everybody in the house up when we got there. She was already in the mix of escaping, right? He said, we didn't have to do much. We just threw her in the car and got on. He goes, she was as real as it gets. Now, my tia passed over a year ago, right? And here's a cool situation. This is why you love your children. This is why you never forsake your kids. This is why you never know, or you don't choose sides or love some more than the other. She had 4 sons. One of her sons was older, my primo, a little bit older than me. So him and his mom's relationship was more of a friendship thing. He knew that was his mom. He loved his mom. I'm sure he still does. He was there at the end, but he, you know, he did his own thing. He was married with his kids and whatever. And a lot of respect for my primo, man. He's a real one. He's a South Sider. He's a real one. Now, her 2 sons that she had when she was in Mexico, those were her babies. She was very close to them, right? She spoiled them like fucking spoiled brats. And then her other son that she had, she never showed him any love. Nothing. He was raised by my grandmother. And it was a cold game, man. I used to see the way she treated him compared to the others. And I felt some type of way, but I never told her shit because I didn't want to get socked in my fucking mouth for speaking out of turn. But when she passed over a year and a half ago, you know, only one son opened his door for her. And that was the one that she didn't really care for. He was with his mom to the very end, you know. She died in his home. She passed in his home. And, you know, it's a cold situation because you don't think about things until it's too late, you know. Or if you look at the situation from the outside looking in, you know, all the dirt she did, everything all the work she put in, all the love she showed, you know, to the sons that she showed love to, nobody was there. You know, her oldest, of course, he came through and he did what he did. But, you know, my cousin, the one that she just didn't raise, man, he was the one, you know, that was there for his mom when she needed him. Planned the funeral, did everything. That's crazy. So anyways, man, I'll always have respect for my tia. You know, I remember she sat me down when I fell off, right? When I was no longer an active Norteño, because she knew I was in the mix. She knew my homeboys knew her. And she got at me in a real way. And she told me, mijo, you make your decisions for you. This decision is going to come with a lot of bullshit. You already know that. I love you. I got your back. You know, but out there, you're going to have to be a man and fight for what you believe in. You fought for what you believed in for the Norte for a lot of years. Now you have to fight for for a betterment for yourself. She goes, you were born a boy and turned into a man. You know, don't be a man that acts like a boy. Be a real one. And I'll never forget those words, because she gave me the encouragement to say, whatever decisions you make, I'm going to rock with you, whether it's right or wrong. Now, in the game, looking at it in hindsight, you know, a lot of homeboys fell off. A lot of homeboys turned their back on me. They felt like I fell off with them. But if you weren't in that situation at that time, you don't know what I'm talking about. You know, everyone's life is different. I don't look down upon a man because he's a dropout or he's not involved in gang banging no more. Because there's a lot of vatos, even on YouTube, man, that stepped back, that were gang banging when they were younger, and then are no longer in the mix. Now they're pastors or they're fucking, you know, doing podcasts or whatever, and everyone's showing them love. Oh, it's all love. But with gun, it's all bad, you know. I don't do selective politicking. It is what it is. We're either all bad or all good, man. You call it what you want to. But at the end of the day, I made the decision I made. My tia was behind me and right beside me, and that's real. So, you know, I haven't grieved for her, because it's hard to believe that someone that was that close to me in my life and real in my life, they laced me up and gave me a lot of game, just like my Theo Joe did, that they're both gone. It'll hit me when it hits me. But I definitely just wanted to say, man, I got nothing but love for her. I know she's listening right now, and she knows what it is. And no matter what people say about me, no matter what people do, man, they can't take the real ones away from me in real life, man. Those are memories that are cherished and that will always be respected. With that being said, man, if you have a loved one, man, that maybe isn't living the best life, but is real, you know, show them some love, man. Remember where you come from. Don't ever forget it before it's too late. I can't call my tia or my tío anymore and get game. Now it's all about me. You know, it's all about me giving game. I just have to run with what they gave me. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle, to strive, to strive, to struggle. All we have is family, you know, and some tight homeboys, man. It's up to you to decide what comes first in your life. Your barrio, your gang, your hood, your friends, you know what I mean? Your fucking squonkas, hood rats, your old lady, or your family. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for mines, because that's all I have left. Thank you.